When I was a casual, I thought as a casual, I spoke like a casual, and I looked at boxing like a casual. But when I became a hardcore, I put away all those casual things. This is Michael Rogers, and welcome to Bodywork Boxing.
Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Bodywork Boxing. And I want to thank all my new subscribers. The growth I've been receiving here lately, I truly appreciate it. All subscribers matter. You know, we here to talk that real deal, holy bill. You heard me? It's time to feed the clones. It's time to shake a casual out of a tree. And it's time to speak to my hardcores. And I built my channel brick by brick by brick. You know what I'm talking about? I want to speak on what, it's been a couple people that actually spoke on it now. I want to give a special shout out to John Boxing. If you don't know about John Boxing, if you're a boxing purist, this is a channel that you want to actually go and subscribe to. I look at a lot of his content. Sometimes, for the hardcore, when you want to just hear that real, because right now boxing is a lot of sensationalism. It's a lot of WWE, it's a lot of WWF, it's a lot of, oh my gosh, such and such was drinking, and oh my god, it's a lot of like stuff that don't really cater to the sport of boxing, right? But support the John Boxing because I heard him speak on it, right? And I was going to speak on it a while ago, right? But I like to take and see, and I like to kind of see what happens and how much time goes by before certain people talk about this and talk about that, because there's a lot of agendas out here. And I think even pure boxing fans, I think sometimes they get a little trapped with trying to, basically garner likes and attention and super chats, because I hear some outrageous stuff on a regular basis, and I'm like, who am I? You know what I'm saying? Who am I? You just a guy that just loves boxing. Why are you rambling? Because we're talking about the face of boxing, right? The face of boxing, the Super Middleweight Undisputed Champ, Canelo Alverez, right? He's set to actually take on the winner of this match between a guy named Makabu and I can't even pronounce the other guy, up at Cruiserweight, right? And they say that he's daring to be great. Whatever that means in this era, I don't know what daring to be great is, I don't know. But they say he's daring to be great. And what's crazy is, you got Roy Jones coming out saying that Alexander Usyk, who was the undisputed Cruiserweight champ, currently campaigning at heavyweight, who had a recent victory over one Mr. Anthony Joshua, set to have a rematch here soon, so they can settle up their differences, right? He was asked, would he fight Canelo? This man came on camera. He's on camera saying, yeah, I'll come out and I'll fight Canelo. Under the condition that I'll come down, I'll fight him, I'll retain my status at heavyweight, and after I beat him, I go back to heavyweight. Right? And so Roy Jones, based on his experience as the 4-division champion, and matriculating and moving up through the weight classes and everything and coming back down, and the perils that he faced, along with the perils of a Chad Dawson who did the same thing, fluctuated in weight, went up, moved up, came back down, got dropped by one Mr. Andre Ward. He said it wouldn't be a good idea, but in his opinion, Alexander Usyk beats Canelo easy. He said, easy work. You know what I'm saying? So, I was waiting and waiting. I didn't want to hold my breath for a response. Did I get one? No. Why? Because everybody is so busy with the knee pads and the tonsil jewelry and the the free Wi-Fi, and they have so many exceptions, and these goalposts get moved for Canelo Alvarez so much. I was waiting on who was actually going to say something about it. He said, hey, and I was going to be all dramatic. I was going to get some clips from Tombstone. I was going to get the crickets chirping and all that. But it's like, why? I'm not doing all that for Canelo. I'd do that for one of my favorite fighters. But we didn't hear a response from Canelo. Let me paint a real quick picture, right? Because we move these goalposts depending on fighters that we talk about, right? Because I remember when Mr. Gary Russell Jr., who had a beef with Terrence Crawford, said that he wanted to fight Terrence Crawford. Everybody like, oh my gosh, he's Mr. Cap and all this, but he had actually punched Terrence Crawford in the face. So it was a real legitimate beef. And Terrence Crawford make a video talking about, yeah, I'll break your neck and all this and this and that, but the fight never came. And they said, oh man, Mr. Gary Russell, he just vying for attention. So that's cap, right? Even though I would deem that Mr. Gary Russell Jr. was vying to be great, right? And I always draw these similarities about how Usyk Gamboa, Tank Davis, and Manny Pacquiao all have the same measurables. 5'5", with a 67-inch arm reach, and with Gamboa having the shortest arms at 65-inch arms, right? So it's not, and Terrence Crawford said that Usyk Gamboa, who was moving up at the time to fight Terrence Crawford, who was daring to be great, he said that was his toughest competition. He also was chasing Manny Pacquiao, who had the same measurables as Tank, but it's crazy to draw a parallel between Tank and Terrence Crawford. You see where I'm going with this whole triangle? Perception versus reality. So Mr. Gary Russell was Cap, who wants to fight, and been calling out Tank. He's been calling out a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Calling out Devin Haney. That fight didn't come to fruition, but Mr. Gary Russell was Cap, right? Also, Jamal Charlo and David Benavidez, they are one weight division difference, right? However, Canelo ducked Charlo. I got another video coming out with that pretty soon, because the Charlo hate is at an all-time high right now. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think it could get any worse, but it's at an all-time high. I'll digress from that. But he was jaw-jacking with David Benavidez, and they say, oh, Charlo's capped. He's not even at 168 yet, and he knows and blah, blah, this and this and that. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, it's one weight division. He's still at 160. He could go see that man at 168 if there is a solidified option for him to do so. And they say that, yeah, it is, but, it's all about sales and the mouthpiece right now, right? But what I'm getting at is, one more example. Devin Haney was jaw-jacking with Robert Easter. He was jaw-jacking with Mikey Garcia, right? No fight to fruition. When Regis Prograis came up, when he was on a live chat with Jamal Charlo, because Jamal Charlo and Regis Prograis were cool, he said, oh, you don't want none of that smoke up at 140. Got kind of quiet. There's some real killers at 140. And then we find out, 8 months later, that even though he was calling out Mikey Garcia, he never wanted that smoke, right? But everybody say, oh, anybody opposed to Devin, or anybody opposed to Devin, yeah. Mr. Gary Russell, Mikey Garcia, they all cap. Jamal Charlo, when everybody want to dick ride David Benavidez, he's all cap. But here you have, this is where the goalpost, this is where the rubber meets the road. Here you have a unified champ at Cruiserweight on film saying, yeah, I'll come back down from heavyweight to Cruiserweight, and I'll see your face of boxing. I'll give him his issue. And we hear crickets. That's very interesting. I mean, I wish we really would keep that same energy. But we're going to allow Canelo, Cinnamon, Alvarez to go up to Cruiserweight. Avoid the Charlos of the world, the Jamal Charlos of the world. Avoid the Andres of the world. Avoid the David Benavidez's of the world, who had one of the belts and got stripped of it when he actually immediately tried to pursue that belt and actually went and got it from a backup. And the world says nothing. New media, old media. It's only a few channels who made any kind of chirps about this. And I just find that very interesting. You're not daring to be great. You're not daring to be great. If you're daring to be great, you don't go up to a division and tiptoe around who. That's like somebody coming down to 168, you know what I'm saying, and not asking about Canelo. But you want to go up to Cruiserweight and not ask about Usyk. Make that make sense. Somebody explain that. And Canelo is not the face of boxing. He's not. He's a cherry picker. He's a maneuverer. I got thumbnails with him with the green mask on and the gold teeth. You know what I'm saying? Because he all about that bag in the facade of daring to be great. Because he don't really want no Andre smoke. He don't want no Andre Ward smoke. Because I think Andre Ward will come out every time. He's not really daring to be great. He's there to look good in the history books. I'm going to tell you something. You and your camp, y'all are geniuses. Because what you're doing right now is going to age very well. But us right now, who are responsible journalists, I'm going to put this in the record book so when somebody look up and see what's going on in real time on 12/28/21 before the end of the year, we're going to say that you were a cherry picker and you were not the face of boxing. And I ain't even include what you're really notorious for, but you're not fooling me. Go up there and see about Usyk. We don't even know Makabu. Get the fuck out of here, man. Body work.
Alright, I believe you. But my Tommy gun don't. Get down on your knees and tell me you love me.
My word, and I do what I do. He knows what I'm about to tell him right now. It's Mr. Keep running your mouth. That's what I do.
I just feel like I'm the champ, and at the end of the day, I'm just a fighting motherfucker. It doesn't matter. Inside, outside, I can just fight. So I just feel like if it gets down to the wire, and we gotta lock it up, I'm out on top.
Hey, look, as you can see how I'm looking, I stay solid. I'm always solid. I stay fucked solid up, man. You know what I'm saying? To the fans that know.
Do that job outside the ring. I'm a fighter, like I said before. Ain't no safety on the clock, so